Imagine standing at the edge of a crowded room, the air thick with chatter and laughter. You're not alone, yet you feel isolated. People around you seem to effortlessly navigate the social landscape, but for you, it's a maze of unsolicited advice and well-meaning but misguided suggestions. You've tried to listen, to follow their counsel, but it never quite fits. This isn't stubbornness. It's a deeply ingrained psychological trait known as high need for autonomy, a key aspect of self-determination theory. It's as if your internal compass is set to a unique frequency, making it difficult to align with others' directions. But what if this perceived weakness is actually a strength in disguise? What if your resistance to advice is a form of self-preservation, a way to maintain your authenticity in a world that often values conformity over individuality? Stay with me as we delve into the fascinating psychology of people who never listen to advice and discover the hidden power of trusting your own inner voice. They move through life like actors following a script, every line rehearsed, every gesture choreographed. These are the sleepwalkers, individuals who navigate the world through the lens of others' expectations, forever tethered to the social manual that dictates their actions. They are not born this way. It is a survival strategy honed over time, often rooted in the psychological concept of self-determination theory, which posits that people have innate needs for autonomy, competence, and relatedness. For sleepwalkers, the path of least resistance is to follow the crowd, to seek competence through prescribed roles, and to find relatedness through adherence to societal norms. Their lives are a series of calculated steps, each one validated by an external guide or guru, be it a parent, teacher, or influencer. Their terror of stepping off the beaten path is palpable. It's not just fear. It's a visceral reaction, like a car alarm blaring at the slightest deviation from the norm. Picture a young professional, let's call him Alex, at a networking event. Alex sees others exchanging business cards and engaging in small talk, so he mirrors their behavior, even though his introverted nature craves deeper connections. His heartbeat quickens when someone asks for his opinion on a topic not covered in the social manual. He stumbles, his mind racing to recall a script that doesn't exist. This is Alex's reality, a constant state of anxiety managed through conformity. His reliance on external validation is a defense mechanism, a way to avoid the vulnerabilities that come with authenticity. Yet, beneath this facade of compliance lies an unrecognized strength, a profound ability to observe and adapt. Sleepwalkers are often the most perceptive individuals in a room, their keen eyes missing nothing. They are the ones who notice when someone's smile doesn't reach their eyes or when a group's laughter is laced with tension. This heightened awareness is a form of sensory processing sensitivity, a trait identified by psychologist Elaine Aron, characterized by deep processing of environmental stimuli. Sleepwalkers use this sensitivity to anticipate others' needs and expectations, further reinforcing their role as conformists. But this trait also grants them a unique perspective, a silent understanding of the complexities of human interaction that often eludes those who march to the beat of their own drum. Their apparent weakness becomes a hidden strength, a superpower of empathy and insight. This very insight, however, can lead to a deeper question. What happens when the sleepwalkers start to question the manual they've lived by all their lives? They are the ones who stand at the edge of the crowd, watching the dance, but never joining in. The dance is a well-rehearsed routine, a manual for living, a set of instructions written for everyone. But here's the catch. When something is written for everyone, it's written for no one. It's a one-size-fits-all hat that fits no one perfectly. This is where they diverge, where they become the us in a world of them. They are the outliers, the ones who see the flaws in the manual, the ones who dare to ask, what if the instructions are wrong? It's not that they are rebellious for the sake of rebellion. It's that they are acutely aware of the concept of the person-situation interaction from psychology, understanding that behavior is a result of both personal and situational factors. They know that the manual, written for a hypothetical average person, doesn't account for their unique situation. Their perspective is honed by a deep sense of individuality, a trait that psychologist Carl Rogers termed congruence. This is the alignment of a person's ideal self and actual self, leading to greater self-awareness and authenticity. They don't follow the manual because they see it as a prepackaged identity, a hedonic treadmill that keeps people running in circles, chasing an ideal that wasn't meant for them. They perceive the manual as a set of blinders, limiting their vision and potential. It's not that they are lazy or stubborn. It's that they are conserving their energy for what truly matters, a trait that can be linked to the psychological concept of selective optimization with compensation. They optimize their resources, selecting what's important and compensating for what's not. Their skepticism towards the manual is a form of critical thinking, a mental process of actively and skillfully conceptualizing, applying, analyzing, synthesizing, and evaluating information. They don't take advice at face value. Instead, they dissect it, question it, and then decide whether it's useful for their unique situation. This is where their true strength lies. They are the innovators, the ones who think outside the box because they never got comfortable inside it. They are the ones who ask, what if we do it differently? And often, their different approach leads to breakthroughs. Their refusal to follow the manual is not a sign of defiance. It's a sign of deep understanding, of wisdom even. They understand that the manual is a starting point, not an end point. They understand that sometimes, the most important advice is the one you don't follow. Advice, in its most unassuming form, is often a societal control mechanism, a subtle attempt to straitjacket individuality into predictable patterns. Consider a child, encouraged repeatedly to be more outgoing, despite their introverted nature. This isn't just guidance. It's a nudge towards conformity, a push to align with the majority's comfort zone. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche would argue that such advice is a manifestation of the herd mentality, where society tries to suppress individual will to maintain predictability. It's not about the child's happiness or growth, but about making them manageable, understandable, and, ultimately, unthreatening to the status quo. This control mechanism is insidious because it's often cloaked in benevolence. Just relax, they say to the anxious, as if anxiety were a switch to be flicked. Be more assertive. They advise the shy, ignoring the complex web of emotions and experiences that have shaped their demeanor. This is where the psychological concept of self-determination theory comes into play. Proposed by Deci and Ryan, it posits that humans have three innate psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. When advice is given as a dictate, it threatens autonomy, making the recipient feel controlled rather than self-directed. It's like trying to force a plant to grow in a particular direction, ignoring its natural inclination towards the sun. Moreover, this control mechanism often stems from a place of discomfort. People are unsettled by those who march to the beat of their own drum. It challenges their worldview, making them question their own choices. So they dispense advice not to help, but to reassure themselves. You should dress more professionally, they say, because a colleague's casual style makes them question their own wardrobe choices. It's a defense mechanism, a way to reinforce their own boundaries and biases. But here's the twist. Those who resist this control mechanism, who refuse to be managed and predicted, are often the ones who drive societal progress. They are the artists, the innovators, the visionaries who see the world differently and force us to see it with them. Their perceived stubbornness is a strength, a refusal to be confined by others' expectations. It's not that they never listen, they just don't obey. And in that disobedience lies the power to change the world. The silent no is a psychological phenomenon where an individual listens to advice but does not internalize or act on it, remaining unmoved by the speaker's projections. This concept is rooted in the idea of selective attention, a cognitive process that allows individuals to focus on certain stimuli while ignoring others. It's not about being rude or dismissive. It's about maintaining an internal boundary where one's beliefs and values remain intact despite external influences. Think of it like a bouncer at a club, deciding who gets to enter the mind's VIP lounge. People who wield the silent no often exhibit high levels of cognitive autonomy, a key aspect of self-determination theory. This theory, proposed by Deci and Ryan, suggests that individuals have three innate psychological needs: autonomy, competence, and relatedness. Cognitive autonomy refers to the need to feel in control of one's actions and decisions. A person with high cognitive autonomy doesn't feel compelled to act on advice, even if it's well-intentioned. They listen, nod, and then make their own choice. It's not that they're stubborn. They're simply honoring their need for self-determination. Consider a scenario where a friend suggests a career change. Someone with a strong silent no might listen intently, then quietly decide to stay on their current path, not out of fear or laziness, but because it aligns with their internal compass. Moreover, the silent no is a form of emotional regulation. It's about managing one's emotional responses to external inputs. Psychologist Lisa Feldman Barrett's theory of constructed emotion suggests that emotions are not universally predefined, but are constructed by the brain based on past experiences and current context. When someone offers advice, it's often laced with their emotions and biases. The silent no allows one to filter out these projections, focusing only on the information that's useful. For instance, if a parent advises against a romantic relationship, the child might listen, but they won't absorb the parent's anxiety. They'll consider the advice objectively, without the emotional baggage. This ability to remain unmoved is also a sign of high emotional intelligence. It's about understanding and managing one's own emotions, as well as recognizing and responding appropriately to the emotions of others. It's not about being cold or detached. It's about being discerning. The silent no is a tool for maintaining mental clarity and emotional stability in a world full of noise and opinions. It's a quiet revolution of the mind, where one's beliefs and values remain untouched by the whirlwind of external advice. This mental fortitude leads us to explore the next aspect: how this power can be a form of quiet rebellion. They stand firm, a solitary figure at the helm, while the world around them drifts, aimlessly pulled by every tide of opinion. This refusal to be swayed by unsolicited advice isn't stubbornness. It's a profound trust in their own compass. It's not that they dismiss others' experiences outright. Rather, they understand a fundamental truth: what worked for someone else might not chart their course. This is the essence of self-determination theory, a psychological concept that emphasizes the human need for autonomy, competence, and relatedness. For these individuals, autonomy isn't just a preference. It's a necessity. They don't follow advice blindly because they're not following at all. They're leading. Picture this: a crowded room, voices clamoring with suggestions, warnings, and unsolicited guidance. The person who refuses advice doesn't feel lost in this sea of noise. They feel liberated. While others grapple with decision fatigue, they stand resolute. Their confidence isn't arrogance. It's a well-cultivated trust in their judgment. They've learned that every piece of advice is a reflection of the advisor's experiences, not a prescription for their life. This isn't isolation. It's discernment. It's the quiet strength of someone who knows that the only voice that truly matters is their own. It's not that they don't value others' input. They simply recognize that, ultimately, they are the ones who must live with the consequences of their choices. This refusal to listen to advice isn't a rejection of wisdom. It's a rejection of external control. It's the embodiment of Nietzsche's concept of the Übermensch, the individual who creates their own values and lives by them, rather than adhering to external dictates. They don't drift with the current. They carve their own path. Their ship might not follow the well-trodden routes, but it's theirs. They're not afraid of the unknown because they've accepted that every journey into it is an opportunity to learn, to grow, to become more competent. They're not adrift. They're exploring. They're not ignoring advice. They're prioritizing their autonomy. And in a world that often feels chaotic, that's a powerful position to hold. As we've seen, those who seem to never listen to advice often possess a unique blend of traits: an unshakable self-efficacy that borders on confidence, a keen ability to observe and learn from their own experiences, and a strong sense of autonomy that drives their decisions. This isn't mere stubbornness, but rather a manifestation of what psychologists call self-determination theory, a drive to control one's own life and actions. It's not that they ignore advice. They simply weigh it against their own experiences and make informed choices. They're not defiant. They're discerning. They're not closed-minded. They're confident in their own reasoning. They're not dismissive. They're deliberate. This approach to life, while often misunderstood, can lead to remarkable resilience and a strong sense of self. It's a reminder that what we often perceive as weaknesses can be hidden strengths, a theme we'll explore further in our next video, where we'll delve into the psychology of those who seem to always disagree. If you've ever found yourself at odds with someone who seems to always see things differently, you won't want to miss it. So, until then, keep questioning, keep observing, and most importantly, keep being you. Because as Nietzsche once said, the individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe. If you try it, you will be lonely often and sometimes frightened. But no price is too high to pay for the privilege of owning yourself.